Welcome back to Nurse on Call. This podcast provides emotional support and general education from a registered nurse. It is not medical or mental health treatment and does not replace care from a licensed provider. If you are experiencing a mental health emergency or an immediate danger, please contact emergency services or crisis hotline in your area. Always seek care from a qualified healthcare or mental health professional for individual concerns. Thank you. I'm really grateful you are here today. Today, we're talking about something that can quietly change the way a person experiences life. And this is what happens when your body no longer feels predictable. Because for many people, once your body has frightened you enough times, something changes emotionally. You stop fully relaxing. You stop feeling completely safe. You start monitoring symptoms more closely. You begin anticipating problems. You fear the return of pain, dizziness, fatigue, panic, discomfort, or uncertainty. And even on good days, part of your nervous system may still be waiting for something bad to happen. If that resonates with you, I want you to know before we go any further, you are not alone in that experience. There's so many people silently living this way. People who appear functional on the outside, but internally feel hyper aware of every sensation happening inside their body. One of the hardest parts is that this experience can feel incredibly isolating because people around you may only see what you look, and that is okay. What they often don't see is the emotional exhaustion that comes from constantly feeling uncertain inside your own body. Today's episode is not about telling you to just stop worrying. It's not about pretending fear disappears overnight. This is about understanding the emotional grief, anxiety, and exhaustion that can happen when your body no longer feels predictable, and hopefully helping you feel a little less alone while navigating it. There's a grief that comes with unpredictability, and I don't think people talk about that enough. Sometimes what people miss most is not only physical health. Sometimes what they miss most is trust. Trusting their body, trusting their future, trusting plans, and trusting that a normal day will stay normal. Because when your body becomes unpredictable, your relationship and certainty changes. And uncertainty can be emotionally exhausting, especially after illness, after symptoms, after pain, after panic, after scary experiences, after moments where your body no longer felt safe. Sometimes people begin living in anticipation of symptoms, bad news, anticipation of discomfort returning. And over time, your nervous system learns to stay alert. You start scanning constantly. You notice every sensation, every heartbeat, every ache, every shift in energy, every feeling in your chest, your stomach, your head, and that level of vigilance is exhausting. Because your body never fully rests when your mind feels responsible for constantly monitoring danger. I think one of the hardest parts is that many people blame themselves for this. They say things like, "Why can't I relax? Why am I thinking about this again? Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm becoming too anxious." But honestly, when your body has frightened you before, fear makes sense. Your nervous system remembers what scared you. And sometimes people become frustrated with themselves because they miss who they used to be. The version of themselves who moved through life more freely. The version who didn't overanalyze symptoms. Who didn't need reassurance constantly. who didn't feel emotionally drained by uncertainty. And that loss can feel deeply emotional. You may grieve your old sense of safety, your old routines, your confidence, your spontaneity, your peace of mind. And grieving, that does not make you negative. It makes you human. I think many people silently mourn the version of themselves who once felt more emotionally safe inside their body. And sometimes nobody else notices that grief. People may say, "But you're okay now. You look healthy. At least things improved." But emotional healing after fear is often much slower and more complicated than people realize. Because even when symptoms improve, your nervous system may still feel stuck in survival mode. And survival mode changes how people experience life. It changes how you sleep, how you think, how you plan, how you relax, and how safe your future feels. Even good moments can become emotionally complicated because part of your brain is still scanning for danger, and that can become incredibly tiring. There are people who go entire days appearing calm externally while internally feeling terrified something bad is about to happen again. And if that's something you've experienced, I want you to know that your exhaustion makes sense. Living in uncertainty is emotionally heavy, especially when it involves your body. I also think unpredictability can create loneliness because sometimes it feels difficult to explain these experiences to other people. It's hard to explain what it feels like to fear symptoms returning, constantly monitoring sensations, struggling trusting your body, to feel anxious during good days, and to carry fear that others cannot see. And many people begin feeling disconnected from themselves because of it. Disconnected from joy, calmness, spontaneity, not because they want to be negative, but because fear changes how the nervous system operates. And I think that deserves compassion instead of judgment. Sometimes people tell themselves, "I should be grateful. I should stop worrying. I should just move on." But the nervous systems do not heal through shame. Healing often begins with gentleness, with understanding, with allowing yourself to admit, "This experience affected me emotionally." I think that matters because many people invalidate themselves simply because they cannot visibly see their fear. But invisible emotional pain is still real. And if your body has felt unfamiliar lately, you deserve compassion for that. Not criticism, not shame, compassion. Sometimes healing is not about forcing yourself to feel fearless. Sometimes healing is about slowly rebuilding safety, very slowly. Sometimes healing is taking one calm breath, allowing yourself rest, noticing moments where your body softens, learning how to exist with uncertainty. Sometimes healing is taking one calm breath, allowing yourself rest, noticing moments where your body softens, learning how to exist with uncertainty more gently, and reminding yourself that fear does not mean failure. And honestly, that process takes time. There is no perfect timeline for emotional healing, especially after experiences that made your body feel unsafe. And if you feel frustrated with yourself sometimes, please remember, your nervous system has been trying to protect you, even if it has become exhausting. Another thing I want to say to anyone listening today is this. You are not weak because fear affected you deeply. You are not dramatic because your body no longer feels predictable. You are not failing because uncertainty makes you anxious. You are human. and your body has carried a lot. I think many people need permission to stop fighting themselves quite so harshly, to stop expecting themselves to instantly become emotionally unaffected after difficult experiences, because healing emotionally is not always linear. Some days may feel easier, some days harder, and that does not mean you're going backwards. It means you are human while navigating something difficult. And if your body still feels unfamiliar sometimes, I hope you continue responding to yourself gently anyway. As we close today's episode, I want to leave you with this. If your body has felt unpredictable, if you've been carrying fear, uncertainty, or emotional exhaustion quietly, you are not alone. You are not failing because this experience affected you deeply. Your body has carried a lot, and emotional healing deserves just as much compassion as physical healing does. I also want to share that future episodes of Nurse on Call will now be released every 2 weeks. And I chose this intentionally because I never want this space to feel rushed, performative, or disconnected. I want these conversations to feel thoughtful, grounded, emotionally present, like a safe place people can return to when life feels heavy. I also believe healing conversations deserve time to breathe, time to reflect, time to process, and time to revisit the parts that resonated with you most. Between episodes, I'll continue sharing supportive content, reflections, and moments of connection through clips and shorter content as well. I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to be here, be present with you, and hopefully create a space where people feel emotionally safe, understood, and less alone. Thank you for allowing me to spend this time with you today, and until next time, please take care of yourself gently. Nurse on Call.